Hi everybody, how are you doing? Okay, today we are looking at Now That's Local Music 41. Last time we hit the big 40. And of course, even that in itself would be a hell of an achievement for any series to reach 40 volumes. The fact that it's not even reached halfway, just incredible really. So, what have we got this time? Last time was a bit lame, really. All in all, had its moments, but it was like probably the most 70s volume today, and in some ways, it was more dated than even Now One, which is quite strange when you think about it. What does that say about music, really? Who knows? Who knows? I guess one of the things I am looking at is, has pop music got worse over the years? Has it got better? What I'd say at this point, and I think it's 15 years after the first Now, and it's a good chance to just kind of look at the development. When you go through them one by one like this, it's really weird because you don't really notice any sudden changes. Before you know it, 15 years has gone and music has totally changed. Yet when you go through them one by one, you don't really notice. It's kind of incremental. You get the odd game changer, and it's been quite fun to notice them as they've come in. Now, this particular song, this really could have been on Now One, to be honest. It's a old style song, and that's probably because it's an Andrew Lloyd Webber production. And of course, he'd been going on years, decades, centuries. This is from a musical called Whistle Down the Wind, and by Jove, I think it's the first Boyzone tune I've actually played. That is mainly because it's track one, song one, but it's okay. So, that kicks things off. Now, how do we go from here? Well, from boy band to ex-boy band, Robbie Williams is back again with Millennium, continuing his reinvention to a sort of wannabe James Bond figure. And the album was I've Been Expecting You. The song itself uses James Bond incidental music, which had actually been on an old hardcore tune by Ethan. That's probably... more what I prefer. John Barry's You Only Live Twice. So yeah, that's Robbie. Followed up by a good song actually, and I've got a few little pop facts about this one. Should we stick it on? It's The Beautiful South, and it's been a while since they've been on one of these. I make it that this is their 10th anniversary because their first song on a Now was 1989. So it's a perfect 10. And this is one of their best songs. And this features a new singer. I think her name was Jackie. Different kind of style from Brianna, and yeah, it's kind of a duet. It's a very quirky song. So you got Paul Heaton and new girl Jackie, who are this sort of couple who basically, well, they love each other still. They're pretty cynical about each other. She sort of takes a piss out of him and he takes a piss out of her. But it's a kind of fairly cutesy song, despite its cynicism. Another one that could be filed under sardonic. What's interesting about this song is that he's drawn upon a couple of helpers. Firstly, Paul Weller is on guitar here. And secondly, even more striking, is his old bandmate from the House Martins, good old Fatboy Slim. Believe it or not, Norman Cook was involved with this. I think he just helped out with the arrangement and stuff. So all in all, it's a pretty good song. And it's a really good return to form. And it's kind of bringing their style a bit up to date. I really, really like it. And it's a contender for one of their best songs. Okay, so what follows this then? It is U2. And a pretty good song for them. Sweetest Thing. They've gone back to the kind of anthemic stuff. It's relatively slow. It's quite romantic, really, for U2. It's fairly unpretentious. And it works. And it's one of the most popular songs of the 90s. Now, weird comebacks again. And there's been a few, actually. We're going way back to some of these 80s nows. Because Beautiful South, they made their first Now appearance, as I say. I think it was Now 15. U2, they go way back to Now 4. We've got someone who's on the very first Now. One of the most unlikely comebacks of all time. Culture Club, of all people. And of course, Boy George had done his Hare Krishna thing on Now 19, was it? Bow Down Mister. under the name Jesus Loves You. Blimey, it's a totally unnovelty, straight lovers reggae song. Well, straight maybe not the right word. Let's just say unadorned lovers reggae song. I Just Want to Be Loved. And it's the original lineup. And yeah, it's great. It's really, really good. It's better reggae than half the reggae acts who've been on Nows over the last 5-10 years. So, wow, good one. Now, Life is a Flower, talking of erstwhile reggae acts. Well, Swedish reggae, if you can call it such a thing. Life is a Flower. Ace of Base, I've kind of not really liked their change of style. And they've changed again now. They seem to be kind of floundering a bit without the kind of pseudo-reggae backbeats that made them so interesting. Life is a Flower, it's okay. It's a bit drippy. It's almost folky, really. It's nothing special, but I think it's still popular. Crush. Now, this is one that you don't hear a lot these days. Jennifer Page. And pretty much a one-hit wonder. She might have a few other ones. Should we stick this one on? Yeah, Jennifer Page, Crush. It's quite a nice song, actually. It really reminds me of old-style Belinda Carlisle, like what she was doing on things like Circle in the Sky. So it's almost kind of 80s or late 80s-ish, really. It's had 21 million views, so that's pretty good going. Yeah, bit Stevie Nicks-y maybe, or something like that. Even Heart. There's not that many of these songs around now, but when they come out, they always do pretty well. Who's listening during self-isolation, quarantine? The era where videos could be sexy and sensual without nudity. Yeah, maybe. In 1998, I was 17 now. Now I'm 38. Seems like it was yesterday. When music videos had a story and not just booty shaking. It's interesting that, actually. I've seen that a lot on YouTube. People saying that the 90s was a lot more sensual and less sort of sleazy. Is that true? Well, we'll find out as we go through the nows. We have had some R. Kelly, so... and we have had songs called Horny and stuff. So it's not totally sexless, but it's maybe a bit more romantic in tone. We'll see. We'll get to the modern day when we get there. We've only got about 60 nows to go. But it wasn't all halcyon days. There was a bit of dross. Steps, Heartbeat, a bit too slow. Bands like Steps aren't great at slow songs. They need a bit of kind of camp disco beats to really come into their own, I think. Finally Found, Honeys. That was another one that was fairly sensual. Maybe not played a lot now. It's kind of more Postal Saints, girl band stuff. Bit more R&B. And I say Postal Saints. We've had girl bands doing R&B as long as Eternal and SWV and En Vogue throughout the 90s, really. As have E17. I think they're just E17 now, each time. They've certainly kept the hits going. I've really not liked a single one, to be honest, apart from maybe Stay Another Day. Now, a song that I do like, and it's really not played a lot now, but it's a really nice soul song, actually. Kelly LaRock, Little Bit of Loving. Should be reasonably successful. That song's worth checking out, actually. It's pretty obscure, but it's a nice song. Little Bit of Loving, Kelly LaRock. Okay, it's oddity time now, and I guess this one kicks off in the paradigm that we've already seen with Coolio and maybe the Warren G, Prince Ogle thing. Coolio with I'll See You When You Get There. It's classical or operatic hip-hop. This time, it's Bark. Air on a key string. Love it, love it. Someone had to do this, didn't they? They've gone one further. They've mashed it up with a bit of Bob Marley. It's a love it or hate it one. I love it. Unfortunately, coronavirus was the thing that brought me here, says someone. Someone else says, I was 19 years ago, diagnosed with cancer. I was given 8 months of life. I remembered this song. During the months of hospital, during chemo, I was always listening to this song. I'm repeating to myself, try to be positive. You're a fighter, so wake up and live. I listened to this song more than 100 times, and it did. I survived. And whenever I feel stuck or sad, I just play this song and feel better. I think that says it all, really. It's soulful. It's definitely soulful. I don't quite know lyrically if it was about someone dying or if it's just a kind of end of a romance or something. I don't really know the background, and I have tried to find out behind the lyrics because it definitely sounds real. And with this kind of juxtaposition of awesome bark, yeah. I understand if you're a classical music aficionado and the idea of these hip-hop beats blundering all over bark doesn't really sit right with you, but at the end of the day, I'm a Sparks fan. They rip their stuff off bark anyway, so cultural appreciation goes both ways. It goes always, really. Anyone can do it. It's all about soul, I think, and it's all about appreciation for the thing you're using. So I like this one. I'll give it a pass. Right. Come Back, Darling. A comeback from UB40. Another alumni of Now One. Yet again, it's a cover. Maybe not a very well-known cover. It's by a really good old reggae guy called Johnny Osborne. And this was on their third Labour of Love covers album. If all else fails, just revert to the covers. It's really good, actually. I really like it, and weirdly, it reminds me of something I did, and I wasn't consciously copied off this. But if you want to check out my own Peak Vibe USB dub, yeah, it's kind of similar in sound to "Come Back, Darling" by UB40. Who'd have thunk it? It wasn't deliberate. They're about 20 years ahead of us, so there you go. But yeah, I just thought I'd put a bit of self-promotion in there. Right, okay, Mel B and, I believe, for the first time on her now, I could be wrong, Missy Misdemeanor Elliott, I Want You Back, in which Leeds' finest meets one of America's finest. It's not all that, really. Missy Elliott doesn't really need Mel B to make a good tune. Should we stick it on? Because it is a bit of pop history, if it's the first Missy Elliott thing. It's called I Want You Back, and it's nothing to do with the Jacksons one, or indeed the Bananarama one. There's Penn and Teller. Have you seen all these adverts of the Masterclass ones? I was looking at the Timberland one. I thought it was like I might do it. Quite interesting. Yeah, so it's Mel B going, ew. And yeah, not all that, but it is Missy Elliott's first appearance, I believe, on her now. And I think that's quite worthy. Right, All Saints, Booty Call, meh. Aqua, they turned a lot of heads with Turn Back Time because it's not a joke song. It's actually a genuine love song or a ballad. And it's pretty good, actually. I think it proves my point that there was always more to Aqua than joke songs. I think I did say that at the time. And I think it's kind of proves the point. They could actually write really good songs. And it was from a good movie as well, Sliding Doors. Do you remember that? Check that one out, Sliding Doors. Right, Spice Girls, Too Much. Not mega Spice Girls by numbers. Lutricia McNeil, Somebody Loves You Honey, Someone Loves You Honey. We've had better things by her. God almighty, Lighthouse Family again, Question of Faith. Can things get any worse than the Lighthouse Family? Oh my God, they can. Phil Collins. True Colours. Oh my God. This must be the nadir. I never really liked the Cyndi Lauper one. I know a lot of people did, but I never did. But that was okay. Phil Collins massacres it. He really does. About 10 years after Soul to Soul, Phil Collins is a drummer and could easily play any drum lick he wants in his sleep. He uses what sounds like a loop of the Soul to Soul beat. Not quite that one, but of that ilk. Like drum machine-y. It's an abomination, really. It's just awful. Phil Collins' dire version of True Colours, Pooh Colours. Sorry, guys, if you like it. And, you know, I'm not out and out hated on Phil Collins. I've liked some of his songs. I Wish It Would Rain Down, and I like Two Hearts. But I don't like that. Right, Janet's back with a very unmemorable song, Janet Jackson, Every Time. It's just a ballad. It's syrupy. Billy's back with Girlfriend. I kind of gave Because You Want To a pass. I don't really give Girlfriend one. Roll On Doctor Who. 9/11, Jesus wept, More Than a Woman. I believe it's the old Bee Gees song, which was an old Tavares song. No, the Bee Gees wrote it and did a version, and Tavares did a version. We really don't need a 9/11 version. Interesting novelty now, Sex on the Beach, cheesy as Edam. It's kind of more Euro reggae like Ace of Base, but really crass. But I guess it was popular for about a week on the dance floors. The Tampere are back with Maya again. If you buy this record, your life will be better. No, it won't. That's just a lie. You'll just have another bit of plastic or vinyl cropping up your records that you don't play. It was Madonna, Material Girl, stuck through the tampering. I gave him a pass on Feel It. This one was adequate, but second single. Right, finally, we have a classic. It's been an awful lot that haven't been. And it's, again, not one that I really like, but I'd be a moron if I didn't acknowledge the classicness of this. Certainly in terms of paradigms now, Filter House makes its debut. You're going to be hearing an awful lot of it. Stardust, Music Sounds Better With You. Pretty much an introduction to Daft Punk, really. They'd had Daft Punk by this time. They were around, but they're not made a now, I don't think. So this is the next best thing. Yeah, bit of a club, French clubhouse stuff. Lots of this would come out very shortly. It's adequate. No, it's okay. I'm just frantically trying to see where the sample comes from. I should know it. That's kind of pop trivia I really should know. Oh, Fate by Shaka Khan. Wow. They've definitely done something to that then. And the other thing, of course, is that it has got a Daft Punk connection in this. It was recorded at somewhere called Daft House, where Thomas Bangalter, who's one half of Daft Punk, is based. So it's very much cut from the same cloth as Daft Punk. Okay. Vengaboys, Up and Down, which after some of the last stuff is like a masterpiece. It introduces us to the Vengaboys. I think I probably preferred the We Like to Party, Venga Bus one. Good kind of wedding disco stuff. Ultimate pop dance, really. But, you know, bit of oomph to it. Sash and Shannon. Sash makes a bit of a comeback here with something decent after some pretty ropey stuff. And he's aided and abetted by Shannon of Let the Music Play fame. It's not bad, actually. It's even got some 303s in it. So, yeah, that one gets a pass. Now, here's a real oddity and a good one. A good song. It's still kind of novelty-ish, but it's different. It's actually a band. It's a kind of big band. We've not had many big bands for a long time. Would You by Touch and Go. Yeah. Do you remember this? This is a real oddity. I guess this sort of stuff would come back with electro swing maybe, and it's way better than Dupe. At least, yeah. It's just a weird one, really. Lots of drums, like sounds like live drums. Lots of trumpets and stuff, and that lady just talking over it. Right, it's followed by Dreams again. We've had different versions of this. Who was it who did it? Wild Colour or someone. Obviously the old Fleetwood Mac song. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a debut appearance on a Now by the Cause in the Todd Terry radio mix. So Todd Terry's found a real niche here for doing these kind of almost folky things with a kind of gentle house beat. Good stuff. Right, one I have to play now because I play everything by them. Well, I don't play everything, but I played their last one, Loveful. It's the Cardigans and my favourite game. This is an all-time classic, 16 million views. And the video keeps stopping and starting. Do you remember that video? Classic driving rock. Very different to Loveful, but still got the same kind of sound in terms of the band lineup. Just a different beat, a lot faster, a lot more indie. Great vocals again. And yeah, she's a right pop star. She's great. Now a weird remix follows this. And not a very remembered one, but certainly an interesting one. James, Sit Down, 98. Which kind of technos up the song, but keeps pretty much the original song intact. Kind of techno glam almost. Very interesting cover. Bit of an oddity. Fatboy Slim's back again with Gangster Trippin' and more of the normal Fatboy stuff. Pretty good song. Eagle Eye Cherry follows that, Falling in Love Again. And Cheryl Crow, My Favourite Mistake. Nothing really to say about either of them, but they're pretty competent. Robbie Williams is back with No Regrets. I believe it's his second appearance on one of these. They're certainly hammering the Robbie. The thing that's interesting about that one, really, is that it features backing vocals from two Neils. Can you work out who they are? Neil Tennant and Neil Hannon from Divine Comedy. So pretty star-studded stuff there. Cover time now. Space and the old Animals song, We Gotta Get Out of This Place. I've loved all Space's originals. This isn't the best cover in the world. It's a great song, but it really doesn't compare to the Animals version. Embrace back with a very slow and morose song. My weakness is none of your business. My weakness is none of your business. If you want to get the Halifax Brighouse accent right, well, ish. I live up here and I've still got the Cockney Southern accent. Not really Cockney, it's more Kent, Sussex. It's a Southern accent. I've not really picked up the Northern dialectic, and I've been up here about 8 years now. Right, okay. Talking of Cockney accents and stuff, this song, Alicia's Attic, the incidentals, I know it better from a So Solid Crew thing. Oh no, they've sampled a tiny little bit of it. It's just the little things. And that comes from the beginning of Alicia's Attic, the incidentals. It's good actually. It's not very well known apart from that sample, but it's a very kind of nice, literate song. Kind of emotionally intelligent. It's a good song. Right, okay, another one which is in the sweet box mould. You're either going to hate this or you're going to think it's quite cool. It's Relax, and another bit of pop trivia for you. Relax. Where am I going with my pronunciation? Relax by Detour. Who recognises that? A lot of people should, because it's one of the biggest selling CDs of all time. Dire Straits, Why Worry from Brothers in Arms. Apparently even Mark Knopfler quite like this. Had no views whatsoever, barely even 24,000. But yeah. So it's another one. It's taken a song that really shouldn't go with hip-hop, and it's made it hip-hop. But it's cool, actually. Yeah. And I love the original, you know. Why Worry is a classic tune. This just works. Yeah, nice. But I can understand people hating it. It's quite confrontational, I suppose. Right, Home Alone. R. Kelly. Was that anything to do with one of the movies? Probably one of the later ones by this point. Nothing to say about that. I think I'm going to play this last one for a laugh. Just for jokes. God almighty. St. Patrick's Day is probably cancelled. I think it happened just at the start of the corona thing. I don't think official lockdown had come into place, but I think people were starting to stay home by this point. Maybe some of the real hardcore nutters wanted to go out. So next St. Paddy's Day, we can wheel out this one. It's Shamrock and Tell Me More. I'm kind of playing this for shits and giggles. But on this album, yeah. This is a weird album then, now 41. It's got some really, really naff stuff. It's got some good stuff. I think it's better than Now 40, but unfortunately, and maybe it was a reflection of a time. I don't remember it. I mean, I seem to remember 98 as being a really good year for music. I was DJing a lot. I was getting into a lot of the dance stuff. But, you know, I had a pop ear at the time. This doesn't really seem to reflect the stuff that I was playing. There's maybe a few, but not many. If we go back through them then, no matter what, I suppose, middle of the road, Andrew Lloyd Webber stuff, it's still going to be popular. Millennium by Robbie Williams. Yeah, that was moderately successful. I don't think it's anything like Angels, but it was moderately famous. Perfect 10 by Beautiful South, I think it's a really good song. Sweetest Thing, U2, one of their better 90s ones. I Just Want to Be Loved was a remarkable comeback for Culture Club. None of those songs are really classics though. Crush is a sort of forgotten one. It's fairly good, but it's not a classic. I want to jig around the room to this. I like Sweetbox, Everything's Alright, Everything's Gonna Be Alright. And there was some very touching stuff on YouTube about it, but I don't really think it's a classic. Then there's a load that really aren't. Really not classics. Phil Collins Massacring True Colours. God. Music Sounds Better With You. I think it's a club classic. Touch and Go was a kind of novelty. It was not a classic. Right, Dreams, The Cause, but it was a cover. My favourite game by the Cardigans, that's a classic. Sit Down is a remix of a classic. Gangster Tripping was okay. It was not a classic. None really. Really none. Very, very few. This must be the weakest for out-and-out classics. Maybe 2 tops. But, as always, it's not bad. There's probably about 8 really good songs on here. Maybe 10 tops. So very disappointing. Again, I really hope they can pull themselves out of this funk. And I hope this isn't a downward trend. What is it about music then? Or was it about these? It's just forgettable and forgotten. It's not remembered. And really, when it comes to the charts, I think I'm going to wait till we get to the year 2000 before I take a more top-level look at the changing nature of the charts. We've got one more year. It's 1999. And I know that 98 was a good year for music. Maybe it's the case they kind of could have done 2 good nows this year. I'm going to give them one more year to really, really sort themselves out. Because I know that 99 was a great year for music. It was a really good year for music. And I really hope the nows can reflect that. I'm going to give them a year, and then we're going to have a bit of a rethink. Okay, alright. See you later, everyone. I might be wrong. If you still listen to Shamrock, Tell Me More, and you think it's one of the best songs of all time, then you're a big idiot. Alright, what do you like? See you later, everyone.